Ay, ay, ay.
Alicia, get off my back. Alicia, Alicia. If you were to list out all the great qualities of a great woman, you will list out all the great qualities of a woman from Africa.
Let's be honest with each other. Everyone has a preference. But let's be honest with each other. Passport bros, Black Americans, Black men, African Americans, they are not into African women. I don't know what it is about these other countries, these other continents, these other cities. But a lot of these men are traveling from the States and finding new homes and relationships in other places outside of Africa. A lot of these men are flying over the beautiful continent of Africa and going to Asia and Thailand and the Philippines. A lot of those other countries. I don't know what it is, but a lot of men are avoiding going to Africa. If you look at a lot of these gentlemen's YouTube pages, social media pages, a lot of these guys that travel, right, a couple times a year. I'm not talking about no travel once or twice a year. I'm not talking about no guy that goes on a 3-4 day weekend every 6 months. Some of these guys that are thoroughly traveling, right, spending time in countries, giving you content. If you go to a lot of their pages, there is something that's missing, and that something is documentaries, videos, pictures of them visiting Africa. Let's talk.
Nope. Nah. Oh, okay. There we go. Hi, May. What's up? Let's go.
See, when a lot of people talk about what they're looking for in a woman, and they say, hey, I'm looking for a woman that's thick. I'm looking for a woman that's voluptuous. So I'm looking for a woman that's curvy. This right here, this right here, this right here checks all of those boxes. This right here checks all of those boxes. A lot of guys are lying. A lot of guys are manipulative. A lot of guys are deceiving. A lot of guys are just blowing smoke. I want you to believe this illusion. A lot of guys really don't like thick. They don't like voluptuous. They don't like curvy. You know what a lot of guys like? A lot of guys like easy. A lot of guys like women that don't argue, women that are submissive to the point where it's almost human slavery. A lot of guys want women to be yes men. A lot of guys want to tell a woman to do something and she says yes. A lot of guys want a woman that's in the position that they can take advantage of. A lot of guys really don't want the thick, the curvy, the voluptuous, the big booty. They don't really want that. A lot of guys really want a woman that they can take advantage of. And as disappointing as it is, people are finding these kinds of women that they particularly care for, that do and say whatever they want in Asia. People are going to these countries and finding women that are going to satisfy those requirements. But why go all the way to Asia? You're passing over Africa. Some of the most beautiful women that I've ever seen in my life combined collectively from various colors and nationalities has been in Cape Town. It's been in South Africa. If someone was to say, and I've posted this and said this in comments on various social media platforms, where are some of the most beautiful women in the world? And me being biased, because I married a Dominican, I'm going to say the Dominican Republic. But 9 times out of 10, the second place I'm going to name, if not the first, is going to be Cape Town. I was amazed with the level of beauty that I witnessed in Cape Town. But we're not on Cape Town right now. Let's talk about passport votes. Let's talk about these guys that are losing themselves trying to find someone else. These guys that are putting themselves in positions to be superior, putting themselves in positions to dominate, putting themselves in position to manipulate women to get the type of woman that they want. Let's be honest, when you go to these poor countries, right? They can be poor in any particular continent. And you find a woman that's living in poverty, right? Hypothetically speaking, you bring her in to be your partner in crime, to be your wife, your girlfriend, your fiance, whatever the case may be. And she was just in an apartment or house with her parents. It's like 5 of them in the house, and her siblings, and her cousins, and her uncles, and her aunts, and her grandma. She was just in the house with 5 or 6 people with one bathroom. That bathroom may or may not have running water. That bathroom may or may not be outside. She may or may not have had air conditioning or heat, any HVAC system whatsoever. She don't know where her next meal was going to come from. She don't know what she was going to eat for breakfast tomorrow. She doesn't know if she was going to eat breakfast tomorrow. When a lot of us, I'm going to put us in there, when a lot of us go to these foreign countries and we start looking into dating women in poverty, and I've seen women in poverty. When a lot of us go overseas and start looking at women in poverty, right, and we take them in to be our partner because she's cute, that woman does not want to go back to where she came from. That woman does not want to go back into that apartment or that house with 7 other people. That woman does not want to go and have to wait to use the bathroom because someone's in it. And guess what? There's 2 people in line to use it after they get out. That woman does not want to go back to that position where she doesn't know what she's going to eat for breakfast, lunch, dinner. That woman does not want to go in a position to where she's freezing at night because there's no heat. Or she's sweating at night because there's no air conditioning. A lot of women, a lot of people don't want to see it. They want to see it. A lot of women that are in poor position, in poverty, are going to do what you want them to do. They're not going to talk bad. They're not going to disrespect you. They're not going to raise their voice. They're going to say yes. They're going to cook. They're going to clean. They're going to do everything you want them to do because they don't want to go back to where they came from. And that is why a lot of men go to certain countries. Don't get me wrong, listen. I go to Thailand for various reasons, right? I've got a lot of tattoos in Thailand, right? I like flying my drone in Thailand, right? I like cheap food, even though Thailand hit me with food poisoning twice. There's other things that I go to Thailand for besides for what people go there for, right? Do I think that I would ever marry a Thai woman? No. But it's a few things that Thailand has over a lot of other countries, and one is you're going to get your money's worth. The money's going to go further. But back to relationships. People are going to a lot of these countries for the wrong reasons. Is everyone that goes overseas looking for a relationship? I don't know. Because every time I go overseas, am I looking for a relationship? I don't know. But I do know that in certain countries, I am more prone to find what I'm looking for than others. I know if I'm going to Africa, if I'm going to South America, if I'm going to Caribbean, there is a possibility, maybe slim, maybe high, but there is a possibility that I'm going to find someone that I'm interested in. If I'm going to Asia, there's like a negative 20% chance that I'm going to find someone that I'm interested in. So depending on where I'm going personally, depends on the percentage, the chances of me finding someone that I'm looking for. But a lot of these guys that say they want thick and voluptuous and curvy women, this right here, African queen, next to my ex-wife, and I might post my ex-wife one day, right? Next to my ex-wife An African queen gives up one for money, but my ex-wife got a beat. African queen next to my ex-wife has the most voluptuous, curvy, soft, huge grande that I've ever had in my life. From a woman that I dated, from a woman that I was in a relationship with. I've been to Uganda multiple times. I was just there this year. I've been to Uganda 4 or 5 times. And a lot of women in Uganda, I'm not saying all, but there's a lot of women in Uganda that are natural, that are thick, that are voluptuous, just like this. There are. Nobody wants to go there, and don't get me wrong. Some places in Africa I can understand. But you can't go to Dubai looking for a relationship because you know she's all about your money. You know what she wants. It's it's a bunch of guys with money in Dubai. You have to go where, you know, you have to go where you're wanted. But as a black man, a black American man, you're going to be wanted in Africa. The population of women that are interested in black American men in Asia is slim. How many guys do you know that's dating a woman from Singapore? How many guys do you know that's dating a woman from Malaysia? How many guys you know that's dating a woman from Indonesia? How many guys do you know that's dating a woman from Laos? How many guys do you know that's dating a woman from Cambodia? And the population of women that are in Philippines and Thailand that are interested in people that look like me is very slim. Outside of a few places that people go to in Thailand and Bangkok, sugar and Phuket sugar and Flex and 808 and Thailand. But besides the 2 or 3 places that women go to that are interested in us, the majority of the people in a lot of these Asian countries really aren't interested in us. I'm gonna repeat that again. The majority of the women in a lot of these Asian countries, majority, in a lot of these Asian countries really aren't interested in us. There is a greater percentage of women that are interested in men that don't like us than there are a percentage of women that are interested in men that look like us. So why aren't passport bros that are into thick and voluptuous and curvy women going to Africa? You see stuff like that.
You ever think about going to Africa? Like just pack up and go?
Bro,
I'm serious.
nah, man, that sounded like a setup.
Was that a joke? Because it sounded like a joke. Yeah, you the punchline, my guy.
Here's the thing, if we're being honest, man, if we're being completely honest, now I'll say this 100 times, right? I'll say this 100 times more. Minus a few things, a few characteristics, a few traits, right? And like everyone, I don't like wigs, right? But I've always said, I've been saying for years, if she got a big booty, man, if she voluptuous, nothing else really matters to me, right? I'm not trying to disrespect her or put her down, but I like a voluptuous woman, right? From the bottom down, right? So with that being said, there was things about her that I wish I could change. I'm sure that she gonna say there's things about me that she wished that I could change. But all that blah 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 and say that this was the best relationship that I've ever been in, right? I'm not gonna say she's the best looking woman I've ever had because that's my ex-wife, right? I might post her one day, but this was the best relationship that I've ever been in my life. We traveled, we adventured, we did new things, we tried new foods, we educated ourselves from cultures and traditions and religions and this place and that place, I took her around the world, right? I took her to Bali, went to Indonesia, took her to Malaysia, took her to Singapore. We went to Tanzania together, right? I bought a ticket for her and her mother to go to Rwanda, right? I met her in Uganda. We did a lot of traveling, right? And I could sit up here and talk about her for 3 hours, right? And I'm sure she could sit up here and talk about me for 3 hours. But what we did was make a lot of memories, right? Memories that I'm gonna remember forever. Because every time I think about Malaysia or Singapore, I'm gonna think about African Queen. because I went there with her, right? Bali, yeah, I'm probably gonna think about it, but I went to Bali twice, right? One by myself, and I went with her on the second time. So, and it's the same thing for her. When she think about traveling and going somewhere in Asia and all sorts of stuff, she's going to think about me. And one thing her and Psychopath Alicia have in common is they was in Asia, right? Alicia's crazy butt went to Asia with some dude, and they had a good time or whatever, but obviously they're not together, right? So he dodged the bullet. He really dodged the bullet, right? But both of these women went into Asia, right? And here's my job as a man, right? Here's my job as a man. If you're into something, I'm into it too, right? If she says, "Hey, Chris keep flying, I love Japan," and "Hey, Chris keep flying, I love Mozambique," we're gonna go to Japan. We're gonna go to Mozambique, right? And I think a man's job in a relationship is to supplement, or I'm sorry, or complement a woman's goals, her dreams, right? A man's job in a relationship just isn't to provide and lay pipe, right? She's not happy with a man providing and laying pipe. A lot of men are providing and laying pipe. That's kind of the bare minimum. But when you are searching for the definition, right? The stereotypical definition of a submissive woman, right? A woman that does all these things that you believe that a woman should do, right? You cannot bypass the continent of Africa. You really can't look anywhere else. And listen, I'm not saying every African woman is the same. I'm not saying every Asian is the same, or every Latino is the same, or every European is the same. But from someone who's been traveling, right, for a while, someone who's dated women from 3 different continents, I'm going to tell you, you can't go wrong with finding a woman in Africa. You really cannot go wrong with finding a woman in Africa. I might post it one day, but this woman on Tinder is like, "I love to cook. If you don't like a woman to cook for you, swipe left." I've never seen it before in my life. In my life. Listen, 90 to 99% of every country that you see on the internet that passport roles, quote unquote, have been to, I've been to, right? At least 90%, right? The majority of them I've been to, right? The majority of them, right? The vast majority. And let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I have never in my life, right, seen a Tinder profile, Bumble. I have never met a woman in my life that said she wanted to cook. I have never met a woman in my life, that said she was obsessed with keeping her man fed. Listen, guys, this is only an effort. Don't miss out. This is only, and I've been to more countries than 6 passport bowls. There's just something different about African women, right? Something different, right? Something different. Listen to me. I know I've said it. I've continued to say this. I hate wigs, right? I've thrown at least 2 of her wigs in the trash, right? At least 2. Like it's been plenty of times. There's been a time or two where she like, "Hey, Chris keeps flying. Have you seen my wig?" And I'm like, "No." And I done already threw it in the trash and put it down the trash bin. It's in a dumpster somewhere on the street, right? I hate wigs, right? Because I had to get women, right, or her specifically to one, embrace her natural look, right? Her natural beauty, right? I'm boosting self-esteem. You're cute, you're attractive, you don't need this, you don't need that, right? But also, right, we can do braids, right? We can do things to ensure that it's anything but a wig, right? I just hate wigs. I hate glue. I just hate the foundation of wigs. And I'm black, of course, right? It's women in my family that wear wigs, but I'm not dating them. I'm not in a relationship, right? So, it's just something about that dark side that seemed to listen. And I know all passport bros don't like the dark side, right? Pause. Super pause. But I know all passport bros aren't really into voluptuous, right? But I demonstrated, and I will continue to demonstrate in this video, that it's more to them than their bodies. It's more to them than their bodies. I think everyone has a definition of submissive, right? And honestly, let's be honest, I don't think a woman should submit to every man she meets. A man is working at McDonald's, right? He's looking for a submissive woman. She submit to the guy that's making Big Macs and cheeseburgers and double cheeseburgers and chicken sandwiches and 20-piece McNuggets and French fries and McFlurries and milkshake. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. But if you were to ask me, I would say no. I don't believe that a woman should submit to every man that she meets, but for some strange reason, every man wants a woman to be submissive in this passport bro genre. Passport bros, black passport bros, and listen, you can't go to any black passport bros YouTube channel and find me 5 countries that we visited in. You can't. Maybe, no, I'm not gonna say him because he goes to the same countries. He goes to the same 2 or 3 countries. You're missing. I don't know if y'all are Uncle Tom's. I don't know if y'all are you on that cancel culture for African women. I don't know if y'all forgot y'all are black and black Americans, right? I don't know if y'all forgot your history. I don't know if y'all forgot your genetics. I don't know if y'all forgot where y'all came from. But passport bros, we need to get the moving. Don't miss this opportunity. Don't miss this opportunity for greatness. Don't miss this opportunity to find your way. Because listen, I think I'm probably the only YouTuber out here that's dated multiple women. I was married to a Dominican, right? I dated a woman from Uganda, even though I didn't meet her in Uganda, obviously, right? But she was from Uganda, 100%. I dated a woman from Europe, right? Psycho Vanessa, right? I've been in multiple relationships with foreign women. I've been in multiple relationships to define the word passport. When you define passport, bro, my name comes up. My picture comes up. But a lot of these guys aren't really passport bros. And as I've said, and I will continue to say, if a man's been traveling for 5, 6, 7 years and he hasn't found a partner, maybe he's doing something else while he's traveling. Maybe he's really not looking for a relationship. Maybe he's really not serious about settling down. Maybe he's not really a passport bro. Maybe he's just a traveler. Maybe he's just out to do painful play. Maybe he doesn't want a relationship. Maybe he doesn't want to get married. Maybe he has kids of him. There's a lot of maybes in this equation. Well, the only solution to the problem, right, for those that are searching for relationships is to think outside of the box. And thinking outside of the box and finding these women that you think you deserved for whatever reason, it's only going to lead you to one place. It's really only going to lead you to one place. It's going to lead you to one place. And that's Africa. People say, oh, Africa had this, Africa has that. You can get diseases, you can get that. You think ain't no diseases in South America. You think ain't no diseases in the Caribbean. You think ain't no diseases in America. You think ain't no diseases in Europe. You think it ain't no diseases in Asia. You think it ain't no diseases anywhere else. Whatever. Is that what you believe? Is that what you want us to believe? Listen to me. The facts can never be considered disrespect. And repeat that again. The facts can never be considered disrespect. And the facts are Africa is a hidden gem. And it's not so hidden because it's there, right? It's a pretty big continent. It's not so hidden because people are flying over it, going to Asia. And it's not so hidden because people are flying over it, going to Europe. But the top continents, the top places, the top country for passport bros is Caribbean, South America, and Asia. Put in passport bros on YouTube, Caribbean and South American nation. People that speak Spanish and people that speak these various languages that originated in Asia. And I can't fathom. I don't understand. I can't. It's beyond my level of understanding of why people are going to the same places. If I'm going to the same places as the last 250 guys, what are the chances of me finding my partner? Think about that person. If I'm going to the same places as the last 250 guys before me, what are the chances of me finding my partner? Do some math, guys. Do some math. If you're going to the same places as the other 250 guys, they couldn't find one, so you're just gonna be 251 and you're just gonna find it, right? Is that what we believe? Listen to me closely. The truth could never be considered disrespect.
I've been thinking about everything you carry, everything you give, and I want to cater to you. Let me make life lighter for you, even if it's just.
We had this thing, right? Or I had this thing. Every weekend, every other weekend, right? We went to a new place, right? We had ventured out, right? I'm on Viator, I'm on TripAdvisor, I'm looking at views in a particular country that we was in. So let's try something new, right? Because listen, all women have been to the movie theater, right? All women have been bowling, right? But she was adventurous, right? I was adventurous. What we love to do and what we did is we thought outside the box. Let's try something new. Let's do something everyone else isn't doing, right? There's more to the city that we're in than going to the club, going bowling, going to the movies, Netflix, sitting at home, doing nothing. All those things are fine. We did that too, right? We did that too. But one thing that I loved about her is she loved trying new things. And that's one thing that I couldn't get out of Psychopath. And I know Netherlands. That's one thing I couldn't get out of it is she was never really interested in trying new things. She was never really interested in doing things we've never done before. She was complacent, right? She was in a situation to where it was like boring. Like it was literally the most boring relationship I've ever been in my life. Boring, depressing, boring, right? You needed counseling after that relationship. And one thing that I love about African women is they love to try new things. Who do you know that's ever done this, right? I don't even know how I found this place, but I found it. And I was like, hey, baby, what you think about this? All right, let's go, right? Let's go here and break some stuff. Let's go here and release some stress. Let's go here and release some anger. Let's go here and try new things. And don't get me wrong, I was the only one in there, right? This isn't a thing that people have on the list to do every week, right? It wasn't packed. We were the only ones there. I'm not sure how they were making money, right? This isn't a common thing. But guess what? I love doing things that aren't common. She loved doing things that aren't common. And I guess that kind of made us like one and the same. Like she was my sidekick. She was my right-hand woman, pause, right? And I love a lot of things about her. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot of things I don't love about her, right? It's a lot of things I hated, right? A lot of things I wish she'd change. But guess what? She can probably say the same thing about me. She can say the same thing about me or some things that I did to say that she probably didn't know. One of the things that I love, man, is like we always was cooking together, right? She was always like, what you want to eat? Let's do this, let's do that. Let's cook this and go into the grocery store. I love that, guy. I love it.
So, what do you feel like having for dinner tonight?
No one's ever asked me that. I never had a woman ask me that. And it's so little, but it feels so big.
Hey, you're allowed to be taken care of too.
One thing that African women have, a lot of them, is ambition and drive. And these are things that last psycho Vanessa didn't have. Guess who took these pictures? I did. Guess who promoted her business? I did. I was her biggest supporter, and I love a woman who has ambition. And because of her ambition, her drive, uh, her desire for more, I rewarded her, right? I put her on planes. I put her in business class, right? I gave her the best life that I could possibly give her, considering the circumstances. I just wasn't someone like some of these men where, oh, it's about the women got to cater to them, women got to do this for them. A lot of men really aren't talking about what they do for a woman outside of providing. I wanted her to have the best life humanly possible. I wanted her to have memories. And I also wanted her to have an experience that she's probably unlikely to experience ever in life. Because I am.
I've been thinking about everything you carry, everything you give, and I want to cater to you. Let me make life lighter for you, even if it's just